Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am back on once again with Wildcat Hawkins. He's got a brand new song out. It is great, and it is called Swear Upon an IPA. I'm super excited to talk to him about it. Thank you so much for coming on today. How are you? What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing good, Austin. Just had to come and share this story with the people.
I'm
Um,
excited to
this,
hear it.
yeah, so there's more anecdotes I've got to pass along. It's a creative process thing again, like I've been sharing.
Oh, of course. I mean, I love hearing all about the creative process, but in a similar vein to some of your other songs, this one is, just as raw and emotional. And I find that it obviously hinges on the story behind it, but also the story that you're putting out here. I also, as a huge fan of IPAs, I love the title of the song. It kind of gets you in the mood for what to expect before you even listen to it. But yeah, man, I want to get right into it. How did this song come about? Was it another piece of improv? How did it really get its start?
Yeah, so I wrote this song in about 5 minutes, and then I laid
Dang.
down a semi-improvised take where the second half of all lyrics were improvised here. So the second take I felt was a keeper.
Okay.
And that was based on the fact that I felt something. And something happens sometimes when I'm recording. I've made reference to it before, and I don't even have time to point it out. It happens so typically, so
Sure.
commonly. But my eye did catch the camera I was recording with on the 33-second mark as I was playing, and I was like,
Oh,
huh? And then I was just in the song, and then oh, there it is again, 133. My eye caught it again at 133, and then at that point when I see that, I say to myself, oh, I'm rather confident that by the time I'm done recording, what I'll have will be rather good. So I just stop thinking altogether, and words come out of my mouth and I play. And that was how I landed on this one. And the reason I keep it, even though some of the lyrics are a little bit softer than I might like, ideally, kind of like senpai, I'd say. So there's some aspect of it where you can say this is actually lo-fi. I mean, there's something about it that's lo-fi.
totally. I mean, obviously
It's a
it
vibe.
comes, yeah, it comes directly from like just you and the guitar. And it's again, like you're singing directly to someone. You're saying, I have the story to tell. This is a story. Sit back and relax because I'm going to explain everything to you.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. Like I'm in this whole idea of like just let myself be a punk rocker and not try and shy away and just let me be me for once kind of dealio
Yeah.
with it. So I said, you know, um, I want to make a song that's kind of like almost like a petulant child almost. And it's just like I'm the blue collar nerd and I think that craft beer is just too much. So I'm gonna come in kind of like a curmudgeon and just kind of crap on it, sort of.
Sure.
Just because I'm a punk rocker and I want to. And that's kind
I
of
mean,
what it
that,
is.
hey, that's completely reasonable.
That's what that's meant to be, but it's actually a hardcore punk rocker swearing a Freemasonic oath kind of dealio where it's like, hey, the thing is, I do have a history of what people have been saying
Yeah.
about my weight, how they see it fluctuate. There's something to this. It was like I almost kind of my voice cracked and I started almost like I was going to cry in the first line of this song because of it, I'd
Huh.
say.
Did
I
you
think that's why that
realize that during the first take?
I felt it when it cracked and I was like, hold on. And then I saw that 33 and then I saw that 133 and I said, let's not quit. Like it feels
Yeah.
beyond raw right now. And how I'm feeling as I'm recording is something I've never felt before. But I
Okay.
trust this process and I'm going to keep playing. So I did. But the thing is, I don't think people are just fancy fucks or no good if they want to drink the craft beer or
Yeah.
even if they're woke or whatever. I am into the idea of meeting on the level and just having a good time. And I like good people of all kinds, of all kind of ideas and religions or lack thereof. So
Sure. Well, I mean, it shows an openness to you. And I feel even as being a songwriter and a music maker, just, on the whole, I find that a lot of people that I talk to who make music and make art are more willing to accept people of all kind.
Yeah, the funny thing about me, and this gets to this other, this recent song of mine, Real Man, and what I've been talking about a little, just what I've come to understand is that there are certain aspects and qualities of people and certain gender studies, and people will list things out and they'll make assignments for attributes and things. And they'll
Yeah,
say, we think that if we parse this out, we can say Wildcat Pendragon Hawkins, he doesn't like a they them pronoun because he's the articulate one. So he says, I don't think so. But we look at him, he's a straight man who's kind of got the vibe of a lesbian, sort of like Sinead O'Connor. Not just because I'm bald, but it's almost
okay.
like I'm a gay man except for the being gay part. And I said, where's my spot on the chart? I don't have one,
I
but
understand that.
I accept who I am. That's the thing. I think that it's we don't know what direction to take it sometimes. Am I a real man? I don't feel that I meet the requirements of so-called traditional masculinity.
But I think that definition is like it's changing. It's not what we saw in movies in the 50s where you need to be like this sharp, cunning person to come off as a man. Like biologically you are, the way that you carry yourself, it doesn't even really matter at that point. It's all just that seems a little toxic masculinity.
I don't like the John Wayne vibe, but I do think that Gary Cooper is pretty cool. So
Sure.
that's kind of my vibe on the vibe equation. I don't like the James Bond vibe because it's a never-ending array of one-upsmanship. So that's not for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the Marlon Brando vibe. It's like we're gonna convene to share a good vibe, and we are allowed to face one another without worrying about who's wearing the association, who's charging for it, who's the cool one here, who's the dominant one here. And
I agree.
what
Well,
I've
it's being
seen,
comfortable. It's being comfortable and not having to go above and beyond to prove to the others around you that like, hey, I'm the alpha. Like sometimes you can just exist without all the extra steps.
I appreciate I appreciate that there are people like you that get that, Austin. And my fans are a lot of trans and a lot of gay men, many of
Sure.
them, because when you look at me, I don't think of myself as any type of trans, but I think of myself as all man. But like I said, like I'm not a so-called real man, and I like that. I'm happier this way, in my opinion.
Right. I mean,
And
as long as you're happy.
the women that I attract in that want long-term stuff for me are exhibiting aspects of what we call boyishness. People that listen to this program know what that is. It's
Okay.
not necessarily a bisexual woman, but in many cases it can be. But what I've realized is that I just have a gift for having muscles as the thing and looking a certain way.
I understand.
It's a bone structure thing that I want to tell the people out there that may be looking at what's going on and seeing these bodies that are being published and promoted.
I understand.
I'm worried about them because people say, I've got to look more chiseled because otherwise I'll be the less dominant one anytime I step outside into public.
I mean, I fully agree with that. There's obviously like just the media and everything that we see on television every day is like you're not a real man if you're buff and not jacked and stuff like that. I understand the pressures of that. Like I even fall into that stuff myself. But I think at the same time, like, you know, if you're not a movie star or you're not trying to be one, you can be whoever you want, whatever your body type looks like. And yeah, you know, just the way that you're raised, and if you're into exercise and working out and you find that as a release, then it's kind of just a secondary, yeah, this is how I look because I do the things that I enjoy.
That's definitely it. And me being the way that I am, I'm into this idea of a carnival and a sideshow and
Sure.
having fun for fun's sake. So if you just love to look jacked and be a bodybuilder, even if you do it the unnatural way, I don't look down on it. That's the thing.
Right. It's
It's just that
hobbies for certain people.
that's it. Yeah. What I'm saying, all I'm saying is the following. If there was to be a firestorm surrounding me, whether I was using any gear or not, I've been asked before if I was on a steroid by someone, and just if there was to be a controversy like that around me,
Yeah.
what I would do, because I'm populist, is I would immediately think I would love to take a steroid test and just wave it in your face.
Hey,
because
sometimes that can be a compliment too. It's someone's way of saying like, "Hey, I think you look really good, and I'm not going to tell you you look really good, but I'm going to go around it and ask you if you're taking steroids," because a lot of people are so insecure that they think, well, that body that that person has couldn't possibly be natural, which means that that person can't get there without, extracurricular drugs.
there is a lot of that. And what I want to educate people if they don't know this, I want people to think of modeling a little bit differently. If you're a man and you're trying to build a certain body, you
Yeah,
need to remember that looks that people have come down to bone structure and DNA.
sure.
You need to remember that if I walk around at 15% body fat and I do a couple of crunches and a couple of push-ups and pull-ups, uh, I might have a look that you are envious of, even if you're the shredded jacked one that's at 10% body fat and you live in the gym.
Right.
That's modeling, you know?
It's all perspective, and it's what you want.
That's exactly the thing. I was hearing people tell me that I was fat when I was a kid and I was overweight. And I think that I would like to see steroid testers. I'd like to see people take steroid tests. I would like to see it happen in Hollywood, is what I'm
Oh, it'll
saying.
never happen because it's all
Right.
secretive. I mean,
Well,
listen, when you sign on to a Marvel movie, they pump you full of everything, and then you go into the interview shows and say, "Oh, yeah, it was just hard work doing 2, 3 a day workouts with my trainer and my nutritionist." It's all crap. No, that is not how it works.
and you're smart enough to get that, Austin, that we realize that in all likelihood, someone like Jake Gyllenhaal, who Dana White had a sage remark saying, I don't believe he's been USADA tested. He hadn't been, is the thing. He
Sure.
hadn't been USADA tested. And what I think is that someone like Jake or a Chris Hemsworth or Jason Momoa is probably got a big wooden hook around their neck, and that studio is saying, you
Oh, yeah.
had better not say a thing. And also, by the way, if you took something, and I'm not saying any of those dudes did, I don't know that they did, and I don't believe that a guy like Chris Hemsworth doesn't need gear to look incredible because he knows how to do natural bodybuilding, and a guy
Sure.
like Zac Efron does, and a guy like me, I do too. But I think that if they take the gear also, that's when you get a look that's even better. And that's when the bodybuilding community starts, the people that take the gear themselves start pointing their fingers at you. And I think that
Totally.
I don't think for a second that a guy like, even if I could prove that people took stuff, I've never taken an endogenous testosterone before or any type of thing that would qualify as gear. Full
Yeah.
disclosure here, I take a Tribulus pill though. That's just a testosterone booster vitamin that doesn't qualify as gear. I do take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the deal. I would never think to myself, um, oh, a guy like Jake or a guy like a Chris Hemsworth or a Zac Efron or Hugh Jackman, like was no good. What I would think if any of this stuff that people are speculating, if it all happens like people think it does, what I would think is there's a studio system that's something of a beast. People want to work. And as you know, I have a hard time working because I'm worried about selling out sometimes.
I understand that.
And
But
what
I
I
think
think
your
is that
music speaks for itself, man. It's so raw and emotional and just like it's real. It's real music. I mean, we talked about this. Like, you don't have to have a super polished, like dancey pop mainstream radio hit to make it. I think the people that listen to your music realize that, like, this person is a real person, just like you and I, who's making music from the heart, and it speaks for itself.
here's the dealio. I don't have anything against Disney. For those people you know about Cat Like Studios, you know I have plans to build Wildcat World
Sure.
As well as the Wildcat Stock plans when we will convene in Tokyo and Dublin and elsewhere in the Midwest in LA. But there's Wildcat Stock is my branded festival. But the deal is like, um, think about this for a second. I don't hate Disney Marvel. I think I think Ghibli Park is a place you should spend your money. I think you should go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and the culture should thrive, is what I think.
I agree. I
I don't
fully
hate
agree.
Marvel. I don't hate Disney. I don't hate Disney Star Wars. I don't hate. I've got my view of things and what I like, but I'm not
Yeah.
against the other people that maybe like it a little different way. I'm not against people, is the
Sure.
thing.
Nah,
And
man,
I
I
think
totally
that
understand.
a guy like Hugh Jackman, that's like couldn't I mean that seems like a vibe. I've got a lot of stuff in common with him. So I'm not against these actors, guys. I want to make sure you know that.
Totally, man. And I'm happy that
Mhm.
you're on here talking about these things and being honest. Um, it's funny though, because every time we talk, we talk about the music and then it sort of delves into another conversation, yet it's still all tied together because the messaging of your music is, a direct relation to the things happening in your life. And that's kind of why I like this song, is just because there's always a meaning behind it that isn't fully understood if you're not here talking about it, which is really nice.
I would like the people at home to hear the following story, just passing this along. Just so
Sure.
you know, 50 Shades of Grey, the dude that was in that movie, what he said was while they were shooting that movie, he felt ill enough to where after they wrapped it and he started eating like normal again, he said that the experience of living with a temporary anorexia was so traumatizing that he wishes he wouldn't have done it because he's living with a
Oh,
trauma because of it. And also Baywatch, so that people realize this, it was not just the women on the original Baywatch show, but the guys also who complained of feeling almost a form of insanity from eating next to nothing for prolonged periods of time. And what I want to
yeah,
tell you is this. I have been living with anorexia since I was in my teens, but it can be um, like an alcoholic. It does not have to be active every day. And
totally.
I know what that's like to have a certain feeling that there's and it's like an alcoholic needing a fix almost, but it's hunger is what it is. And it feels like there's a fucking demon inside you, and it feels like some type of insanity, and you don't realize it, but you
Yeah.
are way too hungry. And I just want to tell the people at home, if you feel that, please just eat something. Just do that, please.
No, man, that's a
That's
great
all I want
message.
to say.
I I fully agree. I think there's a lot of people out there that have undiagnosed eating disorders because again, we're held to these high standards. We go to the movies and we see these perfect effortless bodies that are just on our big screens, and then you get the feeling that like I'm not good enough. I need to look like this. And that's what stems so many problems nowadays.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that you've been able to foster some little culture where we can have convos that
Yeah, man.
confront some of the trends because trends are a scary thing to go against, and sometimes I think.
I agree. I fully agree. Um And yeah, man, I want to just talk a little bit more about this song before we wrap up here. But, people are going to listen, people are going to enjoy. What are some other things that you think that they should know about it before they listen for the first time?
The spirit that I'm trying to capture here and wrap up is that of uh an original style hardcore punk rocker that is never a sellout. So that's why it's kind of like swearing a hardcore Freemasonic oath, like a Knight Templar shit, or I don't know what the hell this is. It's something
Nice.
almost like that.
It
And I
doesn't
wanted to
have to
tell the
have a
people
label sometimes.
yeah, there's a music artist that I have major league fondness for named Ani, and
Okay.
her name is Anna Erhard, and she's from Switzerland. And some of the people that hang out around here know Anna and have met her, but I think that you might want to listen to her music if you haven't heard it. Botanical Garden is something that I would say is an original hardcore emo punk rocker that is beyond incredible. I am very into this girl actually,
Nice.
but because I'm wrapped up in hardcore emo drama, I don't know if she's seeing anyone serious right now or anything. But the deal is basically I like Ani a lot, and I'm just a such a hardcore emo drama case that I'm actually always broke. But it's hard to just fly over to Berlin and see the girl. But
Of course.
and she might have a boyfriend right now too. I don't know, but or somebody else. But that's what I'm saying is there is a bird motif that is now in full swing, and I'm not gonna. People make glancing references, and there was a snake motif is of great interest to me. It's just a spiritual and metaphorical and it's a vibe that I'm feeling,
Yeah.
that is of great interest to me. But what I want to tell the people at home is that if it seems to them that a bird motif may be um, coming into full swing, that's indeed the case. In my eyes, it certainly seems to be. So that's all I can say about that is that I see the little nods and wink people do, and I chuckle just like how they do. And I think that the times are getting to be very, very good, and I feel a lot of light coming through the window, I'd say.
Dude, I'm so happy to hear that. And obviously, it's like whenever you write a song, you're giving a piece of yourself to the world. And at the same time, I hope that, writing these things and putting them out into the world makes you feel better as a person. So many people bottle things up where it's just like living inside of them. And if they don't get it out, then it starts to eat at them. But I kind of feel like that's what your music serves at is like if you have these problems or these stories or these things, you write it, you get it out there, and hopefully you feel better.
Yeah, that was the thing, and this song, so this Cunea Fornication, right? So Cunea Fornication, what it is, these 33 tracks I uploaded
Yeah.
includes 6 new ones just for
Right.
the fun of listen. If you want to listen through, there's 6 new uploads.
Yeah.
So basically, that's where I dropped it, and like this was my alternative to creating a full remaster for Emerald Vision and Serpent Seed.
Sure.
And I had such a good experience listening to this one that came out called Led Zeppelin Remasters when
Yeah.
I was a ninth grade boy. I had so that was like my entry point for Zeppelin was a collection of some of their best songs
No,
in a
that's
remaster.
how it should be. So you get a taste and see if you like the rest.
Cream of Clapton was just an awesome CD, and this
Awesome.
so now I've got Cunea Fornication. If you guys want to have that for what I've said is that the raw audio kind of is the best product in a sense because the natural decay is present and
Right.
my dynamics are kind of a thing. But when there's some mastering applied, I can't always pick which one I like better because it does something very interesting to the vocal, which is now pushed really loud. And
Yeah.
so a song like Point of Light that now has like a boosted vocal, it's very interesting. Handshake Deal, I like the mastered version very much. And
Sure.
just check it out, guys. I think you're gonna love this.
Awesome. Dude, I want to thank you so much for taking the time, as always. And for everyone out there, the song is called Swear Upon an IPA, but there's an album and there's literally so much more music you can check out. We'll have the links in our articles that you can listen, share, follow along, and stay tuned for more. There's always more. And again, man, just a great conversation. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I always appreciate it.
Well, Austin, I am not a real man, but I am a happy man,
You
and
you are, man.
I appreciate you, dude. I will talk to you soon.
Awesome. All right. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I will talk to you later.
Yeah, see you around.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah, see you.